It's only
It's in
an
40.
hour.
It's in like 40 minutes.
Yeah, but it's only an hour to be outside for like an hour. That's nothing. A 1 hour storm? Come on.
Yeah, but
That's geek stuff.
we have monsoons out here, Neff, and oh boy, are they actually pretty scary.
That's the name of a cooler.
A what?
Nothing. That was an alcoholism joke. I think. No, I might be incorrect.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Anyways, I thought you were making a reference to that. Templar Assassin banned out. Queen of Pain banned out. I mean, I guess you just don't want to deal with a lone Queen of Pain. He absolutely popped off the other day on that hero when he was up against the Storm. But Storm banned out. They weren't planning on taking that anyways on D2 Hustlers. And it's probably on the mark with like the fact that they want to conquer or something like that. Somebody who is a melee hero stands his ground and plays closer in the mid lane.
Yeah, there's the
They're not the conquer themselves on D2 Hustlers. I thought
they're going mid. They already have their mid laner
no.
here. It's either Pango or Viper mid. They just need they need a safe lane.
I did switched around. I did think it was going to be Infamous getting a Kunkka. I don't think the Queen of Pain would be good to pick. I take it back.
10 seconds remain.
Magnus?
For Infamous?
5 seconds.
Yeah.
You could just go Alone's Invoker here. It's not terrible.
I don't like it.
But
you need someone who can dangle a little bit, you know?
Do you? You have an Earth Spirit that just goes in with a Weaver. I think you just need some form of lockdown for the mid lane, and you're probably fine. The Kunkka would have been perfect.
Yeah. Going Spearbreaker is too wild. We don't got any...
Zhao Eight's not in the mid lane. We're not seeing Spearbreaker.
Unlucky.
Is the Ember Spirit still in the pool? He is. You could go for the Ember Spirit. Oh, okay. So that's probably Michael's, honestly. Well, I guess not. In this game, it's definitely going to be Michael on the Earth Spirit, so we'll be seeing Alone on the Wind Ranger mid. Another hero that they like to flex around on this draft, on this team, actually, quite a bit.
You don't believe in the Earth Spirit mid?
10 seconds.
Did we see Earth Spirit mid yesterday? Actually, we did, didn't we?
5 seconds remain.
It might be Michael Wind Ranger and Earth Spirit mid. Yeah, you might be right.
You were very anti-Earth Spirit mid.
It was not good.
I think it's good. It's got one of the highest strength growth rates in the game, 4.4 strength per level. Can't argue with that.
I mean, look at him. He's super buff, but he doesn't farm very fast.
And he's hot.
I see. Is he? Are you really into rock snap? Is that your thing?
I am. That's why I like you. You're a rock.
Okay. Thanks, man.
No problem. My emotional rock, Ricky.
Yeah.
You deal with a lot of my shit.
Neff, would you say you like the boulders too?
I would.
Nice. Is it because you can ride those babies for miles?
Sunglasses need to stay on.
Yep, got him, dude. It's fine. The Morphling, the last pick here for D2 Hustlers. Good stuff.
It didn't work out last time, and they do have I mean, Sacred ends up building himself up a spirit vessel every single game regardless, so I feel like the Morphling isn't amazing. But they do kind of lack lockdown. Alone's going to have his work cut out for him. Michael's going to be forced to play somewhat aggressive, and I think if Mr. Jeans is able to get on top of these heroes, by the way, it's going to be
Mr. Jeans Night
Stalker mid.
Yeah. This is not, I mean, the thing is, Monster almost always plays the Viper for these guys, so that's why it's not that surprising we're going to be seeing the offlane Viper into the Gyrocopter. It's actually pretty good. Gyrocopter hates playing against the Viper. You have a lot of harassment between them and the Pangolier. Yuma in the safe lane should have a pretty good time up against the Weaver, and Night Stalker mid, it doesn't seem all that bad. He's got pretty decent base armor to deal with the Wind Ranger. Once he gets level 5, he can farm very fast. Also, shout out to the super rare Night Stalker set here. This thing is so sick.
What's this one? He doesn't have the golden hands. That one's pretty ugly. I like the when did they release that one? The blue hands on him?
That was this last year's this last year's TI like collector's cache.
Yeah, the blue ones look amazing. The gold ones look very ugly in the clash with the hero. Night Stalker wouldn't use these golden hands anyways. It's like the opposite of his lore. He hates the daytime. He hates bright lights, man.
It's so weird to me that they just like do golden immortals, and rather than like making them like semi gold with like I mean, you saw the Legion commander on the like the screen, right, in the quote unquote compendium screen, where she's like kind of gold, it just has like gold highlights or whatever. I don't know why they don't do that with items, rather than just literally putting a flat gold chroma key over it. It looks so bad on like almost every single immortal. It looks absolutely terrible.
I think some of them look good, but on the Night Stalker, it really clashed with the rest of it. It stands out a lot, which is like kind of neat. You have a flashier hat because of it, but the aesthetic of the blue ones is really cool. And the blue hands dancing around when you use Dark Ascension is also pretty neat. It's one of the I'm pretty anti-hat, Ricky.
Are you?
Yeah. You can join the anti-hat club with me, but given the fact that you are almost always wearing a hat, you have a door covered in hats in your home, and you pride yourself on various hats inside Dota. I don't imagine that you're one of us.
Yeah, I'm not super anti-hat, honestly. I do like me my hats. Dad hats specifically.
I'm dad bod myself.
I wasn't talking about dad bod now. I was talking about dad hats. Dude, you know, during the break, I did manage to get my pizza ordered, and it got delivered. I was so terrified because it's supposed to rain today, right? We just got the severe storm warning. Jesus.
Warren storming, go on.
I was like, well, hopefully it doesn't start raining while my pizza is sitting outside, and luckily it did not. But oh man, delicious. Managed to get 3 of those slices down in the break.
Ooh. Not as impressive as my 4 yesterday. You got a lot to learn, Ricky.
I could have gone for 5, but I decided to pace myself since there's so much more Dota left today.
Yeah. We'll see. You're thinking about heading to TI now. We can have a pizza eating competition if we're there.
Dude, I really want to go, man. The problem is I'd have to like probably quit my job, buy health insurance, get my passport, reschedule a tattoo. You know, it's a big commitment. I got a lot of things I need to fix if I'm going to go to TI this year.
Thanks a lot.
Wait, no, I couldn't.
Tickets are what, I think about the same price they were in 2018 in Vancouver.
They're always the
Go
same
to that
price,
one?
like $350.
No, it ends up yeah, 350 American, I think it is. It ends up being like 450 CAD,
No,
which is unfortunate.
Sucks to suck.
Yeah. Money's worth nothing. Over here.
No, yeah, I was at the Vancouver one. It was a lot of fun. That TI was great.
Yeah. I ended up hosting a lot of people at my place during it. I had a lot of fun. Once again, anybody who's going, you're the real ones. 2 weeks notice, buying tickets, booking flights, Airbnb. Let's go. Drop everything.
It's almost like there was 2 years to plan this out, and we waited until 2 weeks.
Well, to be fair, they had to relocate it.
And they had like 6 months to figure it out.
Yeah. What team pack is this from?
I have not the slightest idea, and I don't even know what that's an image of. It doesn't look like it's anything in the game at all. I have no idea.
Let's Dota.
You're so nice.
All right. Alone mid lane on the Wind Ranger, going to be going up against Mr. Jean's Night Stalker. Not something we've seen played in the mid lane in quite some time. It is a very scary hero once he gets to nighttime, and once he has that bottle, he'll be able to play really, really fast out of this mid lane.
Going to the bottle does slow down your phase boots, though. You need to find like the majority of the last hits in order. I think like earliest you'll be able to get the phase boots is like 6 minutes if you get yourself a bottle as well of the starting gold. But like you said, you're able to play pretty fast. You can spam out this void a lot more. Your base damage is reasonably high, so you're going to be able to secure a good chunk of CS in this mid lane. But you have more downtime than other mid laners. Alone is going to pop off this game if you allow him to. And you're gonna feel a lot weaker than him during the day.
We'll see how this offlane goes for the Viper. I've personally played the Viper offlane in a gyrocopter several times myself. As soon as you have level 3, Lumiere can't really lane here. It's going to be all on Excel to basically try and waste the Viper's mana and try and waste, like to try and tank as much damage as he can, but it becomes very difficult as the gyro.
Bottom lane, it's about going how you'd expect. Weaver not having the best time yet, but he needs a couple of levels first. Usually once you're like level 3, 4, you have point intimidated attack, being able to get harassed, swarm to have a little bit of kill potential.
He's getting beat down right now. Taking a lot of harassment there from Michael. Yuma. Okay. His first blood there, Jerry. Unfortunate. Not paying as much attention to the top lane as possible, but they managed to find a kill there onto the Pango, which is really surprising. Is he only level 1?
Yeah, all it took was that combo that you talked about earlier. The Nightmare homing missile comes in, brain sap hits him, and it gets finished off by Rocket Barrage. So not much you can do about that one. The bottom lane, Yudomi dropping pretty low. You might just get finished off here.
Fire Blast under the tower, but they're going to go for the dive, and one more auto attack from Sacred with the gem, and it gets it. Well done by him. I mean, we've seen Sacred absolutely crush offlanes on this hero, so we'll see if he can do it again.
Yep. Man is absolutely insane. The speed of that Spirit Vessel that he got yesterday was like 7.5 minutes or something like that. Had to have been one of the quickest that we've ever seen. Lumiere's about to die in the top lane.
No, he is. That's level 3 on the Viper, like we were talking about.
Auto attack down, but the poison attack finished up by Divine Llama. So Tegra not re-aggroing onto you thanks to just orb attacking him, makes it difficult to escape at times. And Excel was just a little bit out of position, couldn't save him with a Nightmare or a Zone Monster off by clicking him down. At the very least, Monster has run out of mana here, but
top lane, Divine Llama is way too far forward. He's actually going to waste a little bit of the Rocket Barrage duration, but he just definitely gives up a kill.
Yeah. Couldn't save himself from that one. Now, Lumiere will turn his eyes over to Monster here, who no points in another tox. In fact, 1 to Corrosive Skin. So this will significantly reduce the damage of Rocket Barrage coming out onto him, make it harder for Lumiere to find these kills.
It's actually a really smart pickup. He just doesn't want to. He doesn't have the mana for the Nether Toxin. I think he wants to use all his mana on the poison attacks here.
Yeah, it's great for like shoving the lane or being able to move with the jungle, find yourself a couple of creeps. But I think the Corrosive Skin's better in this scenario. I want to turn my eyes back to the mid lane. He has reached 4 minutes. He ended up rotating to secure the water rune, stack camp on Michael, but
Mr. Jeans is owning.
Yeah, Mr. Jeans is only, regardless of the fact that he didn't end up getting a kill there. I don't think you would have found that kill even if you had kicked him back underneath the tower and found that roll. And he's trying to toss him up a high 5 after that. You'd love to see it.
He knows he's about to lose his ward here. Yeah, not much you can do about that one.
Unlucky. No, by himself in the bottom lane, yeah, Sacred. He's struggling to be able to get on top of Yudomi and Yuma here, who 2 points into the attribute shift. He's running a little bit low on mana, but I don't think he's under kill threat from the Earth Spirit and the Weaver. The damage from these two comes out a little bit too slowly at the start. Can't burst him like you need to on the Weaver. Or on the more. They try to go for Yudomi instead, though.
They do indeed, and Rolling Boulder off the mark. Still got the Swarm on him. He's gonna have to deal with that. And the dive here coming in from Sacred. He's gonna be able to finish him off behind the tower. I think Fire Blast comes through. Can he actually get the kill? It will indeed. Sacred is really deep, waveform forward, able to survive for the moment. The Chainstones are there. Yuma morphing back up though, and Sacred earning himself behind the tower. Michael, 2 tower shots here plus an adaptive strike. He does end up dying. Yuma finding a return kill at least, quite good for him. Meanwhile, top lane, Pangolier falling incredibly low, but they get the kill onto the Bane, and Viper now 3 points in the poison attack plus the Urn. That's another kill onto the Gyro. Double kill for this Viper. And this is when things get really hard in this offlane.
D2 Hustler's now popping off. Night Talker hasn't had to contribute to anything yet either. He, I believe he does have the face boots heading out to himself right now. Yeah, and a Clarity. So he'll start to try to make plays here. He's gone 3-0-2 and a single point in Dark Ascension. But 1K net worth advantage now for D2 Hustlers. They lost 2 heroes. Monster is going to be an issue for sure, but Earth Spirits come up here. 3 heroes get on top of him. The issue's dealt with.
Really good kill. Really smart rotation, and honestly with Pango not quite being there, he just can't be that far forward. He does need that extra hero. So far, slight gold advantage for the side of D2 Hustlers, but
I'm curious if Divide Llama knows. Yeah, he he feels it. He's like, all right, Bane's got to be sitting in these trees. I can't see him, but I feel him.
yeah, he
And he is
drops the
absolutely
sentry
correct.
right. Oh, an instant D ward.
Get played, kid.
They actually see the sentry, right? Yeah, they do. Okay.
Yeah. So denying that observer ward takes a little bit of gold out of their hands. They're probably not too happy about that one. Lizardgene's still sitting here in the mid lane. He's sitting at the top of the net worth chart, about 500 gold ahead of the Wind Ranger, which is nice. And he can move into the small camp, try to find himself a neutral item. I mean, if you get yourself a broom handle or something like that at the start, you're pretty happy. I think maybe Ocean Heart would be better. Sit inside the middle of the river. You'd have a ton of HP regen if you move from lane to lane on Night Stalker.
I'm a little bit surprised he's gone for the 4th point in Void, because he's not really rotating. He could have used a 3rd point in Hunter of the Night to be able to farm a little bit faster here. But, I mean, Void does an immense amount of damage.
Yep. And it's a pretty long slow, as you just saw. Forced to use a wind run there on alone.
Bottom lane, Yadomi really far out of position here from the lane, trying to get a D-ward, and just going to pay for it with his life. Ends up dropping the Bloodlust at least before he goes down, and now Yuma is quite scary if he can keep his eyes on Michael. Instead, turning his attention on over to Sacred, trying to hide his courier at the same time. Sacred forced to time-lapse out.
Yeah.
Dark Ascension comes out in the mid lane alone, not going to be able to outrun Batman. And Lumire's come to the mid lane even, which is surprising.
Guess they decided that he'd be better suited for facing off against his Night Stalker. He's got a little bit more armor, and he's struggling quite a bit against the Viper.
He got his bottle refilled. He can dive this gyrocopter pretty dang easily. Swan charge is available. Just needs to be careful. One more auto attack gets it, but there's a missile chasing him. And with the rotation in from Michael, they should be able to get this kill pretty easily, and they do.
Yeah. Took a lot of everything. I mean, it wasn't that easy to get that kill. Again, the huge amount of armor on the gyrocopter. You'd much rather deal with the Night Stalker than the Viper at this point. Monster is almost as farmed as the Night Stalker. Has himself an urn, but the poison attack and urn tick damage is too much for you. I think he'll just... Ooh.
He has the 1 point in Nether Toxin now, which is pretty much enough to farm up these jungle camps.
Yeah. If you had Viper Strike right now, I think the gyrocopter would just die.
I mean, Gyro probably just dies anyway. If he gets on top of him with the poison attacks and an urn, he has to TP.
Yeah.
His only real hope is like call down and missile and trying to run away as fast as possible. Being a call down, he needs to farm up some jungle creeps.
I meant right there specifically because he had just TP'd in.
Yeah.
Jungle. Earth Spirit rolls in, gets on top of Ogre.
Yadomi taking a lot of ganks this game here on this Ogre Magi as he's going to try and make it into the tower, but Sacred finds the kill. That urn plus the bugs, a lot of damage. Meanwhile, on the other side of the river, they take down alone.
Crippling Fear not even needing to be committed there. Just ended up being way too much damage. 2 voids is all he needed. Switches over to Day now. Dark Ascension is on cooldown for 30 seconds, but you still don't feel strong enough to take advantage here on any of the Infamous heroes. Instead, Gyrocopter is going to move back to the jungle, try to recover. I mean, the hero does recover incredibly fast, and he's going for a Chrysalis first item. We talked about this. It's one of the highest average damage items in the game. Even though he didn't end up going attributes this game, he still benefits a lot. You get a lot of farming speed out of this.
Divide Llama actually scouts him here, and he's got Rolling Thunder, drops a ward in the process.
But I think he's waiting for Mr. Jeans in his Dark Ascension. But Mr. Jeans not able to rotate over there just yet. Unfortunately, the Siege Creep on top of his mid tower, and that's going to take priority to shutting down the gyro.
He's farming very well in this mid lane Night Stalker.
Yep.
I was actually wondering if we would see Night Stalker in the mid lane again, because this is one of those heroes that with levels it's incredibly scary. Like his kit just by default is very strong, and in the right scenarios, I mean, this hero can absolutely own from the mid lane. Top lane, Fiend's Grip comes out, they find the Viper, the Rolling Thunder is gonna be able to cancel it. Can he actually turn it around though? Missile does connect. He's got the Viper Strike, dumping a lot of damage into Lumiere, but in comes Yuma, the Morphling with his own flak of his own. Magnetize doing some work. Mr. Gene's Dark Ascension trying to find these heroes. Crippling Fear on top of the Wind Ranger, and that Void makes quick work. Michael, great job of keeping this ticking on this Magnetize, but Gene's, he had an Illusion Rune. And now they're looking for more. Spirit Vessel out from this Weaver, but they continue the chase. They get a double kill on the Morphling, and Time Lapse gets Sacred out for the moment.
And no detection here, unfortunately. So Sacred, he's gonna be. Ooh.
They have a sentry. They're looking to go for it. Yeah, too difficult to kill.
He's just sitting here taunting them. He's clicked all their inventories. He knows that they had one sentry, and that's about it. Other than that, he's just playing. Hopefully, they'll carry more detection from now on. They learn their lesson. Yeah, Dust is on the Pangolier. I mean, it's a little bit too easy for Sacred, but they don't have a hard lockdown. The only spell that they have is the Fire Blast. Yeah, that Void is going to do anything to the Weaver.
Just took a decent amount of damage there underneath the tower. Nice Tumbler's Toy through the trees. It's a very neat item. I mean, that was a heavy commitment top lane to get the Viper. It ends up backfiring so bad for the side of Infamous. Now a 3k gold lead as Yuma is the one that takes the top net worth position, getting himself a double kill in that fight and a tower to boot. So he is really happy on his way to that Mantis style.
Lumiere getting got on down here in the bottom lane. Oh no.
Where is it? Oh, there
Oh
it is.
no, no.
Divine Llama might just die for this. On the backside, Magnetize, and yeah, he does end up getting the kill. Now Yodomi, Focus Fire down. Gonna be an easy pickup here for the Wind Ranger. Yeah, he just, he really whiffed on those last few spells there.
He whiffed on the Rolling Thunder as well. He ended up getting caught on this tree over here. What can you do? As they say. They'll lose this bottom tier 1 tower. Nobody's gonna rotate in to save that one.
It's actually not that fast, so it's gonna take them a moment. They could try and respond. I mean, they have Monster, Night Stalkers, Dark Ascension is up. So if they want to defend this, it is definitely a possibility for them. 3 Spirit Vessel charges now on the Weaver, though, after that fight. Yeah, Yuma goes in. They're going to be on try and get on top of Sacred here. There's going to be the time lapse, but you still got that Viper Strike on you. No detection quite yet. Yuma trying to be able to get that detection, though. Void, Crippling Fear not in time. Rolling Boulder comes forward. Yuma still trying to get on top of him, but it's not going to happen. Sacred will be able to make it out. Oh, Mr. Jeans, he's going to dive for him. He's got a Void. One more auto attack. All right. Apparently you can't outrun Batman. He's going to lose his courier, though.
Apparently.
Alone here, trying to outrun this Pangolier. The Rolling Thunder allowing him to try and hold him in place, but Wind Run, too much mobility. Oh, that is a big Ancient stack. That is a really big Ancient stack. You're going to be really sad about this. Lumiere drops that call down in the flag. He just wants to clean up these creeps as much as possible, but Llama comes in. He's going to basically sacrifice himself to get out on this Morphling.
And Michael would like to catch the Morph, but unfortunately doesn't have level 10 talent for the extra rolling boulder distance. So
Sacred comes in, Spirit Vessel out. He doesn't have time lapse for a few seconds, but Monster taking so much damage. He's dishing it all back onto the Gyro. He goes down anyway. A 1-for-1 trade, and now Yodomi trying to bait out Sacred here potentially, as they've got Ward Sentry on the left side of this high ground. They even have a Sentry on the right side, so they will get that D Ward eventually.
I thought the fight would favor D2 Hustlers, but XP swing ends up going the way of Infamous in that fight. I think bringing down the Gyrocopter and slowing down his game is a lot more important. The Morphling will eventually, I think, outcarry him like a 1v1 scenario, but it's the fact that you have a Night Stalker as well as the Morphling carrying this game for you. I think Alone will start to fall off compared to this Night Stalker, and already he's got like almost 2,000 net worth advantage over him. When you build a core Night Stalker, it ends up doing so much right click.
Excel, caught by Divine Llama, getting a lot of damage out from that Rolling Thunder, but unable to finish the kill and just gets wrapped on by 4. Bane, very well played. Nightmare dodging out that first connection.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
A lot of space for Yuma, though. He has just been chilling top.
Yeah, you do have to keep in mind, this is just like a position 4 Pangolier that went down there. It's not the end of the world that you lose him. Well, like you said, Yuma chilling in the top lane. He's got himself his Manta style. He's working on a BKB next. It's all about Dispel and magic immunity. He doesn't want to take spell damage in these team fights. They do have a lot of Gyrocopter. I mean, he's building tons of physical. He's got the Chrysalis. He's going for the Egg and Scepter immediately afterwards. I imagine he'll turn it into a Silver Edge. That seems to be what people want to do right now. And you are playing against a couple of passive abilities that you'd be breaking.
Looking to go on this mid lane tower. Monster does have that Dragonlance completed, but Mr. Jeans, he's about to have a BKB. The Bloodlust on this Night Stalker is terrifying.
Yeah, 300 attack speed right now. Only 17 years in.
All right, Michael will just leave. They get the tower uncontested, and honestly, things are looking really good for D2 Hustlers here.
Yeah, take control of enemy team's jungle. I don't know. Sacred's an absolute beast on this Weaver, don't get me wrong, but like we were saying, there's a bit of a lack of damage here on these heroes. The Weaver, Earth Spirit, and Bane can't accomplish enough by themselves. They need the Gyrocopter, the Wind Ranger to commit in these fights, and Wind Ranger is playing the recovery game right now. It only just recently finished the Maelstrom and now working on the BKB.
Dark Ascension? Is that for the bottom?
In the air. Yep.
Oh, that is a big kill. Gyrocopter completely by himself. Just got this Ags, and that's going to be a nice pickup then. Yadomi actually just snipes the kill himself, but top lane, they commit too, and now might be in trouble. Michael taking a ton of damage from the Viper. Yuma able to roll out with the Boulder, maybe considering staying on top of Alone, but the Maelstrom doing a lot of damage here. He's going to be able to roll away even further, but he is out of mana. Night Stalker rotating in, though. This is his fight. He's going to find them. Sacred afraid to go any further. And Yuma's going to make it out.
That minus 20 or minus 50% mana cost reduction on the skills of Morphling is actually what got him out there. He wouldn't have had enough mana for Rolling Boulder otherwise. Which is completely ridiculous. But he does end up escaping. He's turning into that Morphling. Oh, sorry, into the Earth Spirit. There's just no catching him.
There's a Quicksilver Amulet now on the Night Stalker. So he's basically hasted with Bloodlust now. And once he is in Dark Ascension, you're not getting away from this guy.
Yep, 547 movement speed on him. Very cool.
BKB done as well. Queuing up the Blink Dagger as expected, as he just wants to be able to get onto these backline heroes. Just focus down the Bane with that Crippling Fear, or even initiating on top of that Sacred Weaver would be good enough. He does have a Force Staff now, though, actually, so he can get himself outside of the Crippling Fear. So this is actually really good itemization from Sacred.
Yep. Excel is working on one as well. In fact, they know how important the Force Staff is right now. Nothing else is going to save them from the Crippling Fear, but yeah, getting on top of the Bane is probably priority number 1. Number 2 is for Sacred. If you get the jump on him, though, sure, go for it. But in these teamfight scenarios, you're going to be targeting Excel. You can't afford to have him either Nightmare you if you don't get your BKB off or drop the Fiend script, because that's the thing I was talking about at the start. Night Stalker usually pretty far away from the rest of his team in these fights, and it becomes a very easy Nightmare target. And if your position 1's getting taken out of the fight from the start, well, even more value to the Bane.
They actually smoked up here on the side of D2 Hustlers, and don't really end up getting much out of it. Just grab the enemy outpost, and with daytime, you do have Dark Ascension, but it's not as easy for you to find these heroes. Oh, they're gonna grab mid tower.
Surprised that they were willing to give that one up so easily. I thought they'd try to defend that a little bit harder, but I guess not nighttime, no Blink Dagger from the Night Stalker just yet. That's gonna be the next major objective. Blink Digger done on Mr. Jeans, and I think they'll start to make some bigger plays. Morphling's still working his eye of Scotty as well. He's only got a single ultimate orb. It's around this part where your net worth isn't fully utilized, so even though you got a 3k net worth advantage, it doesn't actually feel like that.
Alone on his way to a BKB as well, and he's really not that far.
No, he's not. The Maelstrom really sped up his farm, but he was struggling to be able to find anything. He's kind of under farmed for mid laner at this point in the game. He didn't have the best start. Got kind of run down by the 9 stalker and forced out of lane. But once the BKB is completed, he gets to have a game again.
Top lane onto the Weaver. He has the Force Staff, but doesn't get the time lapse off thanks to the cast point, and they get the kill. That's the thing, you know, that cast point, there is that little bit of a windup.
Yeah! The tip, sorry.
Right into Roche they go. Why not use the rest of this Dark Ascension damage? Man's hitting for like 350 right now, nearly.
Very cool. Ends up grabbing the Aegis. And yeah, we are inching towards that Blink Dagger on the Night Stalker. Another 250 gold and he'll have it. And then yeah, it's even harder to escape here. But yeah, like you said, the cast point on the Weaver, nothing to get out of that one. The Blink Dagger to get on top of the Weaver. They're finally ending the kill on him. It's so sick they end up tipping him though. That guy was being way too cocky earlier up by that tier 1 tower. He had this one coming.
D2 Hustler is now 5k gold lead, man. I mean, this is a really good performance from them, considering especially that Infamous has had such a run these last few days.
I mean, Mr. Jeans, man's just good. Like I said, I'm incredibly biased for him, even though Infamous were my boys a couple of days ago.
You really are a Fairweather fan, Neff. You just bounce from one team to the next.
I'll go with whoever's winning. I mean, you're probably pretty happy about this on Mr. Jeans. He was on Infamous for a little while. So they ended up removing him from the roster. Oh, a bit of a stick it to them.
Yeah,
it's
Blink completed, now queuing up the Basher. I mean, I love this decision. You could also go for Nullifier. I think Blink Nullifier is one of my favorite builds on the Night Stalker.
I'd be a fan of Nullifier if it built out of literally anything else. The Sacred Relic makes it so rough. But we're smoked now. Dark Ascension just about off of cooldown.
I think the item would be way too good if it could build out of anything else. Yeah, they got Dark Ascension, Blink now available, so getting their hands on these other heroes is going to be big. Alone did pick up the BKB, so he is at least safe, but the rest of the lineup from Infamous, not so much. Looking to go to the mid lane here, sitting behind Monster as he's pushing to the tier 2. And Yuma's just going to melt this tower, man. That attack speed has that Scotty completed. He is feeling so strong here on this Morphling.
And we talked about this would eventually become a problem for Infamous if they didn't close this one out early enough. He's going to be able to beat the Gyrocopter in 1v1 scenario. The team fight, I think you'll win, but you got, again, the Night Stalker to worry about, him getting on top of your heroes, the Wind Ranger, the Bane. I think they're just going to overwhelm you here with the tankiness and the single target damage.
Alone doesn't have a TP bottom right now. And Michael is going to scout out the rest of them. Power Shot comes through. He's trying to run. Viper Strike comes through. Doesn't get the Shackle, the Focus Fire off. But again, he's eventually just going to die here. There's no way out. Yuma picks it up pretty dang easily. Michael still trying to get some vision thanks to this Invisor. And you can't go on Monster. You do not have that damage.
Man is pretty tanky. I mean, doesn't have the best strength growth rate in the world, but just the itemization here, BKB, the extra armor and HP regen you got from Dragon Scale, Dragon Lance, Power Treads of the Inner Shadows. Hard man to take down.
Michael is going to make it out of there. Still farming here on the side of D2 Hustlers, though. I mean, they're not finding a lot of big kills. Sacred top lane closing in on his Aghanim Scepter, about 800 gold away, which is a big pickup to say the least. But if this Night Stalker gets on top of him, it's not going to be fun.
He's got 11 streak multicast right now on the Ogre Magi.
That is a big streak.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
12 streak. Odds 1 out of 32. Reintroduce the Gambler.
Never. Do you remember how that hero worked? Do you remember how Gambler worked?
13 streak. Yeah, you just lose all your money. It was like all entirely based on gold, right?
Yeah, you would use your gold as damage. Oh,
Yeah.
in the base, Morphling thrown in. Does have Manta and this Aegis, but it's going to be Pangolier that's caught by the Fiend's Grip to cancel that Rolling Thunder, and in comes Mr. Jeans on the Night Stalker. Signs these heroes up, but he just gets melted. Lumiere and Alone pop the BKBs. They've actually lost 3. You got a little bit too far. Sacred stunned up. Yadomi trying to give his life for the cause here, as they are really wanting to get on top of Yuma, but he's a Weaver at this point. He can Manta dodge the missile too if he times it right, and he does.
That's what I want to be when I grow up.
I love getting the voice lines of the enemy heroes when you play Morphling. It's one of the better ones.
That shouldn't be a thing. Come on. You get level 25 on every hero if you're 25 on Morphling. That's not cool.
It
You
is.
should have to unlock all of those. Anyways, it seems they underestimated the damage to the Gyrocopter a little bit there. They ended up getting the Fiend's Grip off. We ended up doing a little bit sure, but 5k damage coming out of the Gyro.
Shackle onto the Morphling. He didn't get the Morph off. He's dead. They end up finding him at the end of the day. He pings out. All right, guys, I got a ward here. Too little, too late, though, is... I mean, Infamous have turned this game right around. Like, you're right, though. They definitely underestimated the damage of that Gyrocopter. Night Stalker didn't really, like, blink on top of anyone. He kind of just ran in and died.
I don't know what that one was about. I think you overestimated how tanky he was. They go on to Bane. They're looking to turn things back around. Time lapse came onto the Weaver there. But couldn't get the save off. Weaver's now working on Blink Taker on top of this Aghanim Scepter. I mean, I think there's too many targets for the Night Stalker now. Ogre Magi is starting to fall off. I do think that D2S is still be winning these team fights, but Ogre Magi is definitely falling off. Pangolier might need to contribute a little bit more to the team fights, control up either the Bane, while Night Stalker does the Weaver now. It's hard.
I mean, Gyrocopter just hasn't... He's just got Ag's Chrysalis once again on his way to a Satanic.
He's pretty close to it as well. Only needs another 800 gold for this one.
I really don't know how this hero was not nerfed. They like thought like nerfing stack meta would be like enough to nerf the Gyrocopter, but it just definitely wasn't.
I guess so. He's pretty strong.
I mean, he's literally being first picked every single game of this tournament if given the opportunity.
Yeah, I think buffing the homing missile shard was a little bit questionable because you'll just pick that up as a support. It does way too much damage. So he's like too good at two very different roles. So if you counter out the Gyrocopter, they're not really punished for it because he's good enough at support that he can just play that instead.
And they like slightly nerfed his, well, we'll come back to it in a moment. Mid lane, there's the bash from Mr. Jeans. He finds the kill there with that Dark Ascension. Nighttime's about to end, Bo. So Dark Ascension and Nighttime gonna be pretty rough here for the Night Stalker in a moment. Roshan respawning pretty quickly here, 20 seconds.
Another 15 on the Dark Ascension. So they're not going to have this for a potential Roche fight against Infamous. They're going to be more than happy to take a fight with Gyrocopter around the pit. I don't think Morphling will be able to stand out to that one, but you have to keep in mind Morphling is a pretty good counter to the Gyrocopter.
The only reason he's a good counter to the Gyrocopter is because he can be Gyrocopter.
Yeah, that owns. He's Gyrocopter, but with more agility.
That is true. But less damage in the form of the call down and stuff.
Yeah. Less magical damage, sure. I'll give you that. He's got a Titan Sliver though, which is something he very much needed. I was thinking that he might end up going Sanjin Yasha this game after he got to try that Shackle Shot, but I think the Titan Sliver will give him enough HP that if he tanks up a little bit, it'll be too hard to blow up.
Infamous are smoked up here on 5. They are going to be able to scout the Roshan. Mid lane, the rest of the team, they got to be careful. They have a great ward for this as well. And Infamous, they just go right into the pit. Drop that focus fire. Sacred, going to try and scout out a little bit, but they're not going to make it in time. They are way too late here on the side of D2 Hustlers, trying to scout it out with Yuma's illusion, but again, they get the Roshan, and now Divine Llama in trouble. Yeah, he's dead. Good find there by Michael on the Earth Spirit.
Not a chance of making it out of that one. He's 2 and 7 now, not contributing so much.
He actually took the shard on Lumiere as well here.
Interesting. You kind of expect it to go. I don't know. I suppose
it's really good. This shard is really good.
Yeah.
It takes a moment, but it's like it just makes it so you can't actually run away from homing missile, because if you do, you're just gonna keep dying to rocket barrage. Bottom lane monster forced to BKB TP, but Excel comes in, the Force Staff into the Fiend's Grip, and that's gonna be a dead Viper.
Yep. BKB used there as well. It is really good. I thought they might go forward on the Weaver. Now I remember. You said Weaver is one of the best shards in the game.
It is the Weaver shard. Yeah. I think the Weaver shard is ridiculous.
It's all coming back to me now.
Mid lane roll. Ooh. Okay, that's a rough one. Yuma dead without buyback, and they're gonna keep chasing here. As Mr. Jeans, he can pop Dark Ascension, but for what reason? He's got no help. He has to just blink on out and watch his ogre die. I don't think he can actually get away here. Michael's gonna continue chasing. He's still got 2 stones. They found him. He's forced to use Dark Ascension anyway, and maybe he can find the kill onto the Earth Spirit, but oh man, what a shackle. He didn't pop the BKB. There's the focus fire. Mr. Jeans, he's got to run, but you can't. She's got spider legs.
If only you popped the BKB a little bit earlier. You didn't see Alone coming, though. He ended up blinking in onto you, and then you have to pop the BKB on the Wind Ranger. I thought that was going to be calling the ambulance, but not from P scenario, but this Earth Spirit, he's pretty tanky, and Michael just calmly punishing the Night Stalker there.
Also had Blast Rig, so
yeah,
just ignored like 3 seconds of auto attacks plus the shackle. By Llama stunning up Lumiere here, trying to slow down this push as much as possible, but he's just might die here to the auto attacks, the flat coming through. Yeah, he does. Sniped by Alone.
Too much damage now from the Gyrocopter, and now a 10k now with advantage. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at it being like, yeah, Morphling should be winning this in the late game, but we're in the late game now. Morphling's not winning yet.
Gyrocopter, man. This hero is busted. There's no hero in Dota right now that puts out this kind of damage. Like that farms this fast, then puts out this kind of damage and has this much survivability. It is ridiculous. We've been seeing it a lot these last few days, and like we said, literally first picked it either transition to support or the safe lane, and it has an incredible win rate.
I'm just surprised that the Morphling not able to keep up, but he is a full item behind the Gyrocopter right now. If you can get a Daedalus for yourself, or maybe a Butterfly or something, it's mechanically good. Yeah, great, but...
Oh, mid lane, they catch the Viper with the shackle. Divine Llama trying to make some space for him to get the BKB, but it's not in time. But Yuma comes in with that BKB, gets the Aegis on that Gyrocopter, has to disengage now. Fiend's Grip there, thrown from Excel. He knows there's no heroes coming, and that's going to be a dead Pangolier. Nice find. Ends up being kind of a 2-for-1, but again, it was an Aegis on Lumiere that went down. Didn't have to pop the BKB or the Satanic there.
And you were seconds away from your Dark Ascension in the middle of that team fight, so Night Stalker, as much as he would have wanted to go in, he just wouldn't have been able to do anything if he had. He's got the Abyssal Blade keyed up next. It'll give you control for the Gyrocopter at least, but the Daedalus Satanic is going to be hard to tear through this guy. 3,200 HP. And it really is feeling like TI time again with how strong his Gyro is.
Yeah, is it just me, or is it every TI Gyro gets like giga buffed before the international and then just like is the only hero that you see in every game?
It probably has to do with the fact that I don't know actually. Maybe it's just pleasing to see the cooldowns and whatnot.
Dark Ascension comes out. They have the detection. They're looking to jump in on top of Lumiere. The blast rig's gonna be able to get popped. He gets time lapse back, pops the BKB. Lumiere with the Satanic, tried to do the damage, but Yuma's right on top of him. Who's gonna win the fist fight? It looks like it's gonna be the Morphling. Thanks to the help there from that Viper. The question is, can they get more? TP out. Successful from the Bane.
Catching the Weaver and the Earth Spirit is a little bit too hard, and Bane gets TP out. They're not getting anybody there. Unfortunately, they're not going to have the opportunity to take Roche here. It's still 3 minutes till it respawns. They end up realizing that, but they'll just run across the map. Still nighttime for another 3 minutes and 30 seconds, Ricky. And you need to make some plays happen. You've lost so much control over the map, but I'm not sure what you do. Maybe you just shove in the lanes and wait for 37 minutes, try to take tier 4 neutral items and find another kill off of that one. I'm not sure what the game-winning item right now is. Satanic on the Morphling does feel pretty important, but even then, I feel like it's starting to become a little bit easier for Infamous to execute in these team fights.
Michael really being annoying here to Monster. He knows he doesn't have a BKB, and he ends up finding the kill. A 1-for-1 trade. I mean, you're pretty happy about that, but Michael can't really afford to buy back. He bought back on his last death, and if he does one more time, dude, he's never respawning.
It only increases by, it doesn't stack like that. It increases by 30 seconds each time. You might buy back, in fact. If Yuma's taking his base right now.
Oh, well, Yuma's dead, so it don't matter.
All right, never mind. Yuma made that easy for him. Easy choice. Yuma probably not too pleased with himself after that one.
Yeah, and they're just going to be able to chase down Yudomi here. Sacred on the Weaver. Just some easy kills for him.
Shoes on the other foot. At the very least, Earth Spirit isn't going to respawn until Morphling's back up, so they might hesitate to push high ground without having their full roster. I would just run it down mid lane right now, to be honest with you. Roshan isn't going to respawn. If you can force the Morphling buyback, you have your win condition right there.
Well, Lumire's grabbing the tier 4 items. Has some real nice ones. The Leveler. Just going to be able to grab that. Extra armor, which is super value this game. That attack speed and building damage going to go a long way. Meanwhile, D2 Hustlers haven't been able to grab any. They've just stuck inside their base.
They have to be for the next little bit. I mean, too far. Going for that tier 3 tower, you got a little bit greedy, and unfortunately, they're paying the price for that one. Other lanes are shoved in a reasonable amount, but now pretty deep in their base.
Ends up popping the Satanic, get rid of that disarm, and try and take that building down as fast as possible, but not gonna happen. They protect it with that fort. Mr. Gene's smoked up. He wants to go in. He's got Dark Ascension available. It's still nighttime with that bonus night vision. Maybe you can find something or fling back up as well. But they backed out on the side of Infamous. They don't want to risk it.
I thought D2S would run a lot more aggressively there, but I think Nightstock would go too far in front of the rest of the team. Once they realize that the Earthboot's already back in the base, thanks to the Observer Ward that they have inside the base, they were already too far away on the Infamous heroes.
Long Roche respawn again, by the way. Just still 2 more minutes before this thing's back up.
I don't like this smoke.
Oh, did you see they recentered the timer on Roshan?
Yeah.
So in one of the updates, they managed to do that, but not fix any of the key binding problems. It's fine.
I can't believe they centered that, but didn't fix the key binds.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not a big deal or anything. Just trying to observe Dota 2. Ooh, jump in from Divine Llama. He's found the Earth Spirit, nice time lapse, but he's just going to be right back into the enemy team. I don't think he... Whoa, nice Force Staff out. He's going to survive. Well done. Okay, well played by Michael. He can buy an Ags if he wants, and he actually might, but he's holding buyback for now.
Wise move. Doesn't want to go down. Like you said, he's level 23. He didn't have to buy back last time, but he'll be down for like 90 seconds if he does.
Aesthetics cap's going to be here on the Morphling. Spell
Have you come
Prism
around yet?
for the Night Stalker. That is a huge pickup, and he is, when he gets level 25, that is so strong.
Have you come around to the aesthetic cap yet?
I mean, I still don't like the item, but it's okay.
You'll take your aesthetic cap and you'll be happy about it, Ricky.
I just hate this item. I just can't stand it. 5-man smoke here from Infamous. They go in, they find a 2-man shackle onto Yuma. He goes down. No buybacks for either of them. He just bought out on the Morphling.
That Daedalus was completed. He needed more damage to be able to burst down the gyrocopter while he was disabled, but I think they just lost the game off of that one. Position too close. There's such a quick reaction there out of alone, finding that shackle shot, and then turning over to the Morphling. Yeah, this game might just be over.
Yeah.
They're going to go for tier 4. Lumiere's going to go for the safe play and grab this Bear Axe first, but tier 4 is going to be the next goal as they can't get mega creeps.
They call
here.
the GG. They realize they're like, okay, they're not buying back. What's going on here? But that's it. Yeah. GG for Infamous. Game 1 looking good, continuing their win streak.
I am a little bit disappointed that my boy Mr. Jeans lost, but Infamous is an incredibly strong roster. They ended up getting a late game, 6 shackle shots. The lone ended up coming back a lot stronger than I thought he would. I thought he'd completely fallen off this game up against Mr. Jeans in the mid lane, but Lumiere pumping out tons of damage. The big turning point for this game was that fight they dove the Dire base. I mean, they didn't take in anybody. They lost the majority of their team. That one felt like a massive mistake. Mr. Jeans going a little bit too far forward, just feeling too powerful with a recently completed BKB and paid the price for it. Yeah. At that point, Gyrocopter just ahead of everybody else after it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can actually kind of see it on the graph as soon as it happens. The game starts swinging back for the way of Infamous. And there was, like you said, that moment where it didn't even feel like Mr. Jeans blinked in. He looks like he got hit by something. He just popped the BKB and ran, but just got focus fired down from alone, and he did a ton of damage this game, as well as Gyrocopter. So it's just a really well done draft here from Infamous. I would like to start seeing the Gyrocopter first phase banned in these games, or maybe some of these other teams start picking it up, but this hero seems incredibly strong. This hero seems way too strong.
Yeah. I mean, the damage speaks for itself. He did so much, despite the fact he was playing into one of what is seen as his best counter, the Morphling, like the same hero, but also with added flat gain damage. Well, talents don't exist in the game. Does Morphling copy talents? I don't think he does.
I mean, the Gyrocopter like late game potential just got like super buffed, which is like crazy to me. Like the hero was already one of the best late game heroes. They like slightly nerfed like his farming potential in the early mid game, and then they just made him way better going late. So Gyrocopter is very strong, and he had a terrible lane too. Monster on the Viper did a great job trying to slow them down, finding multiple kills, but some rotations from Michael early on helped stabilize things. Yeah, it was just a really solid game. Lumiere was never really in trouble at all this game. If any time, if he started to fall low, you've got the time lapse from the Weaver, which they didn't even have to use on him once.
Yeah. Well, they did. It ended up going down a single time when they were up in the top lane. Regardless of using the time lapse onto the Gyrocopter, the Weaver did.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, right outside the base there. I remember that.
Yeah. But they had that safety mechanism, and that made it a lot more difficult to get onto the Gyrocopter too, I imagine. So, I guess just struggled so much there on the side of Mr. E2S to get on top of all those heroes, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, had to take care of the Bane. You had to not get shackled by the Wind Ranger. You had to deal with the Gyrocop or the Weaver, so he doesn't just time lapse the Weaver back or the Gyro back in the team fight. Too many problems, man.
Really solid draft from Infamous, and they are now on a 7-game win streak. They'll see if they can keep going. They've got a doubleheader here this afternoon, but we're gonna go to a short break, and we'll be back with game number 2 here of D2 Hustlers and Infamous. We'll see y'all after the break.